Alright, today's lesson is in Chapter 3, Lesson 2, but it actually, if you're looking for information about it in your book, it's actually going to be in Chapter 2 of your textbook. I'm using it as my Unit 3, but it's Chapter 2 in the book. So you could find this lesson on pages 78 through 83 in your book. And we're solving equations by using addition and subtraction, and this is not new. We did this last year, and we did it quite a lot last year, so I'm thinking this will be pretty much a review for you. Basically what you need to know is that you solve a subtraction problem by adding. So remember that we always use the inverse operation. If we're doing subtraction, m minus 8 is equal to 16, remember that the way you solve it is by adding 8 to both sides. Okay, you can draw your curtain, add 8 to both sides, and then we have m. The negative 8 and the positive 8 cancel each other out, okay, and you just have a 0 down here, so we don't even really need to write that. We drop our equal sign down. 16 plus 8 is 24. Okay, let's just do another example with subtraction. If we had h minus 2/5 is equal to 4/5, then we would draw our curtain, add 2/5 to both sides, because addition is the inverse operation of subtraction, and we would get h is equal to 6/5. Okay, now a lot of these you could do in your head, and maybe you feel like you don't want to show, or there's no need to show the work that goes into coming up with the correct answer. However, it's really important that you get used to doing it this way, because as the problems get to be more complicated and there gets to be more than one step, I want you to understand the process. And doing two-step equations will be so much easier if you do the one step this way. So I don't want you to write down just the answer. I do want to see the step where you're adding 8, or in this case adding 2/5 to both sides. I want to see that step. Okay, so obviously, that's the way we do a subtraction problem, by using the inverse operation, which is addition. If we look at some addition problems, let's say we have g plus 5 is equal to 33, then we would draw the curtain, use the inverse operation to subtract 5 from both sides. Okay, 33 minus 5 is 28. And in case you're wondering, well, do I want to take away 33 or do I want to take away 5? Well, you always want to take away the thing that is on the same side of the equation as the variable. It wouldn't make sense to take 33 away from both sides, because then that wouldn't help. We wouldn't get g by itself. And the objective is to get the variable by itself on one side and to get the number by itself on the other side. So that's what we want. So that's why we want to get rid of this number, this 5, rather than this 33. Okay? Now let's do one more slightly more complicated example with some fractions. So if we had 2/3 plus w is equal to 1 1/2, then first of all, I'll draw my curtain. I want to subtract the 2/3 because it's over here with the w. It's being added to the w. So this is the number that I want to get rid of, so that I only have a w on both sides. So I'll subtract 2/3 from here and subtract 2/3 from there. Okay, now clearly we can't do that subtraction yet because we don't have a common denominator. So we need to change 1 1/2 and negative 2/3 into something with a common denominator. So we could use 6th, because 2 and 3 both go into 6. So 1 1/2 would become something over 6. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, so 1 times 3 would be 3. So 1 1/2 is the same thing as 1 3/6. With the 2/3, okay, 3 goes into 6 twice, so if I multiply the 2 by 2, I would get 4. So I'm going to take 1 3/6 and subtract 4/6. And if you're saying, well, I'm not really sure how to do that, you could change this top number into an improper fraction. That might make it a little easier. So 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. So 1 3/6 is 9/6, and the bottom is 4/6. So 9/6 minus 4/6 is 5/6. Okay, and that is basically what we're doing today. If the problem is an addition problem, you do subtraction to solve it. If the problem is a subtraction problem, you do addition to solve it. And the only thing that makes it a little bit more complicated is we might have to deal with fractions. And that's kind of just part of it, though. You have to be comfortable with adding, subtracting, and then in the next lesson, multiplying and dividing fractions at this point. If you still feel like you need some help with that or are unsure, please bring that up in class and we can go over that.